After the drip marketing has been delayed for an entire week, Mavuika has finally been confirmed to be the new character being released for Genshin Impact version 5.3. People are expecting her to be both an on-field and an off-field DPS, which is absolutely bonkers. So we're going to talk about how a character like that would actually affect the meta if they end up being anywhere close to as strong as people are saying. And of course, we'll discuss all the official information that Genshin has revealed. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. Normally, I like to make these videos before anyone has predicted anything, so I can actually go in knowing very little. But at this stage of the game, many people are very sure about Mavuika and what she's going to do. So I won't be discussing anything in super hyper detail, but there are some links in my description from people that do discuss those types of things. But if those things that people are saying are true, we will be talking about the implications of that and what kind of teams she should work on, and if you should summon for her. That's really my goal for this video, is think this is kind of the teams that she'll kind of make. Here are the characters that she'll kind of work with. Here's what she'll need to be strong. Here's what she'll need to be broken. And based on those things, you can decide whether she's a character that you're going to want to save for or not. But first, let's go over just her official reveal. We are giving away one copy of Mavuika. If we get enough subscribers, maybe I'll give away more. All you have to do is comment on any of my Tactor articles. There's 3 articles right now that are eligible, and one of the winners will be picked 1 week before Mavuika's release. So please go comment and enter for yourself. And oh my god, she's riding a motorcycle, which is absolutely crazy. A motorcycle to me is something I would expect out of Zenless Zone Zero. Is definitely not something I would expect out of Genshin. I understand that she's wearing a biker outfit, but I sort of thought that that would be sort of a reference, not like a biker outfit could be useful for someone who's riding a dragon or something. It wouldn't, that would still be, you know, a smart outfit to wear. You could still make sense to wear leather and stuff like that. And we have some modernity in Genshin, but we don't have any vehicles. And so for me to all of a sudden see a full-on motorcycle, it's just a bit jarring for me when we actually haven't even seen a car in Genshin Impact, or we barely see horses and carriages. Like there's some like really old-timey steampunk horses and carriages in Fontaine. So to see a motorcycle is very jarring, and I will say initially I am a bit put off by the motorcycle. Her actual design is straight fire in my opinion. She is ridiculously hot, really cool outfit design. I love the hair. I imagine it will turn glowing orange just like it did in the cutscenes. She looks amazing. I think she has a great design. It's really growing. I mean, it's a bit like different than what we've had, but for me, I do really enjoy it. And I think especially in this splash art, she looks absolutely incredible, to be honest. But the motorcycle, initially, I'm like, I don't know about that. Okay, well, let's read what they say. Even in the complex tapestry of Tevat's night sky, such a dazzling constellation is seldom seen. Its scorching radiance, as is, though it wants to burn a hole in the fabric of sky itself. When it finally becomes a shooting star streaking toward the horizon, that fire will kindle even the deepest, coldest nights into the brightest day. Mavuika, oh, you mean the one who competed with me in the Stadium of Sacred Flame. Haha, you'd think an Archon could hold their liquor better than that. What? They said I got wasted first? No freaking way, not a chance. That day I was, hang on a sec, now, why did I go see the Pyro Archon again that day? Varka's response to Alice's question about the results of the meeting in Natlan as he scratched his head in thought. So Varka was drinking with Mavuika. Varka news soon? That's hype. I haven't heard about Varka in such a long time. One of the most anticipated characters for a really long time. To Alice's question, that's Klee's mom, one of the Hexen Circle witches. Absolutely hype. I am super hyped to get some of these super high magic, super powerful characters into Genshin. Super excited for it. Name, Mavuika. Title, Night Igniting Flame. Natlan's Radiant Sun. Gnosis Pyro. Constellation, Sol Invictus. Sol Invictus. The official sun god of the late Roman Emperor and later version, the god Sol. Very cool. We have her little intro GIF thing. Alright, it's just the sort of generic Natlan music. Fine. Mavuika, Night Igniting Flame. How to introduce her. The bearer of Koingozi. Mavuika, a leader completely worth leading the people of Natlan. The woven scrolls and epic records, all the most legendary of ancient deeds. Great heroes emerge one after the other, and glory is passed down from generation to generation, and she has never failed to live up to such heavy expectations. She who shoulders the title of strongest, she who respects all beings, be they strong or weak, and treats all equally. For this, the people love her, sing her praises, and follow her willingly with all their hearts. Each time when she addresses the pilgrimage of the return of the sacred flame, her hair flutters with the sacred flame as her majestic voice rings in our ears. She casts her inspiring gaze upon every warrior, every Saurian. She calls upon every flame of Natlan, uniting all fires into a bright light to drive away the darkness. As we support each other, stumbling through the valley of the long, boundless night, wiping tears from the corner of our eyes, and finally struggle to lift up our heavy heads. We see naught but that unwavering, unchanging red like the sun rising in the east. What did she sacrifice? What did she give up? What kind of will has led her to this day? We have no doubt that she will lead Natlan to another great victory. Our sun will never set. She is hype. I'm hyped for her. I think her design is great. I'm just, again, the bike, Okay. So, what are people saying? People are saying, something that's very unexpected. Normally I make all my predictions, but it seems like people have already predicted me out. So, people are saying she will be two things. Number one, an on-field DPS, which is very surprising to me. And she'll be an on-field DPS that works similarly to Raiden, except instead of charging up energy, she uses Natlan Night Soul points, which is a concept that makes perfect sense. It's kind of interesting. I actually predicted that Natlan would be a dual DPS region, and that seems to be what they're going for with Mavuika, because Mavuika's damage is very front-loaded, tied to her burst, and she does give a buff to the team as well. This is what people are saying. You didn't hear it from me. So she's a character that, imagine Raiden, where you could use her initial slash, but you wouldn't have to keep attacking on field. She would regenerate energy or do her buffy thing from just using her initial slash, and then you'd be able to use your other characters and use another DPS and actually do dual DPS. Because the thing about Raiden is that none of her buffing, which is her energy regeneration, is tied to her initial slash. All of it is tied to staying on field with her after. So what if, instead of having to stay on field, you could just swap off immediately? That's kind of what Mavuika is like. You can stay on her and be an on-field DPS with her, or you can use her burst, then swap off, go onto your, Kanich, Mualani, whoever, Clorand, Arlecchino, and attack with that other character, while Mavuika does buffing and off-field damage. And her off-field damage is something like this, except doesn't need energy, does more damage, and doesn't need a Bennett buff to do said damage. People are saying that her Pyro application will be somewhere in the realm of once every 2 seconds, instead once every 1.5 seconds. This should be enough to enable most of the teams that need it. I think even Mualani teams should be perfectly fine with once every 2 seconds. We'll have to see for sure. So this is huge news for anyone who wants to replace this character on your team. This also means, being that you can run her as an on-field DPS, this means that basically, as long as she's a competent DPS, and people are saying that she might be the best Pyro DPS, better than Arlecchino, that might make every other Pyro DPS obsolete. She might be one of the best pulls in the game, because she can be an on-field DPS and an off-field sub DPS and actual Pyro support, an enabler for all of your other off-field Pyro needs, which would make her one of the best characters in the game. I kind of want to do like a little really early prediction, a really early teammates tier list based on what we know so far. So new BIS, possible BIS, meaning best in slot, good option, So travelers, I mean, I'm not going to do every character, and especially like the more supportive characters, I'm not really going to consider. I'm going to try and just consider the characters that people care about. So Klee, she should be, more off-field DPS for Klee. I'm guessing it's like a possible BIS. Like, will she be better than Xiangling? Monopyro is still one of Klee's best teams. Cheverse is pretty good, etc., etc. Possible BIS. If she actually is better than Xiangling, even on Bennett-type, Pyro-type teams, it's possible. Ganyu, I think it's possible. Once every 2 seconds, it may not be enough to trigger reverse melt, but it may. I am not sure. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that she will be, but I'm not sure. None of us really know at this point, right? Wriothesley, I think Wriothesley, surely, right? Surely they wouldn't release a Pyro character and have it not be. I originally thought that Xialunan wasn't a big upgrade for Wriothesley, but after more testing, I think it is, and I think that Wriothesley and the melt characters will be buffed. That's what I think. I don't, depending on how long Mavuika's off-field application lasts, maybe Chevreuse Sino, but I don't know. I think it's kind of an eh. Nilou too, I'm just not seeing it. I'm guessing it's kind of tough because Chaska still really wants Bennett. So unless your Chaska's C1 or C2, I am not sure that the Pyro Archon will really make a big difference for Chaska, because then you're still going to be doubling up. I could see it. I'm going to put possible, but I'm kind of doubtful. Diluc, I think he's still going to want Plunge. Xilonen, I mean, Xilonen is going to be one of the main pairings for Mavuika, obviously, because if Mavuika does more damage based on Night Soul, that's Shilonen's bread and butter. So I don't know. I'm gonna put her up here just because of that amazing synergy. Shenhe, I sure hope that somehow there's a Shenhe team, but I'm doubting it. I don't know enough. I'm gonna put her over here. Almost definitely Kinich will be almost 100%. He needs Pyro app so bad it's crazy. And to have a good user of the scroll set, I just released my video detailing all the reaction buffs, and I'm talking about a Roran, and Roran is actually competitive to Emily on his teams. So imagine an actual unit that's useful for him, right? That's a game changer. Hu Tao, I mean, it's probably going to be a good option. Same with yoimiya. God, if she's an on-field DPS, that just really hurts yoimiya's and Hu Tao's overall value prospect, but who knows? Probably a good option for Ito. I mean, Ito, right now you're using Farina, Yelan, Xilonen. Could you possibly put Mavuika in there? I don't know. Probably going to be good, but like I doubt it's going to be like anything crazy. Mualani, I'd be surprised if she wasn't best in slot with Mualani. Personally, I know some people are always going to doubt Mualani and not be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. Probably going to be good with Yai, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't really consider. I consider Yai a bit more of a support. I don't know. I don't think she'll have a special synergy with Mavuika. Emily, I'm gonna put her up here because I think the core of Mavuika Emily will just be crazy. I think that's gonna be a crazy core that can just work with a lot of things. Chlorand, I think it'll be an upgrade for Chlorand. I mean, we'll see. Chlorand's not a Night Soul character, but maybe she'll give Night Soul, or maybe she'll be boosted by something else. I don't know. But I think that. And maybe not best in slot, but, you know, best in slot for overload teams, which are already pretty close to aggravate teams. So if they get better, then maybe that's a new best in slot. That's my guess. Again, this is really early. Don't take this too crazy seriously. Arlecchino, hard to say. I'm going to say possible. No, I'm going to say it's going to be best in slot. I think that Mavuika is going to be really broken. Chiori, I don't know. That's a support. I'm sure it'll work well. I don't think it'll particularly help Shenyun. I'm gonna put Chevreuse up here because I think that Chevreuse teams in general will be better with Mavuika. I think that people are gonna really be impressed with a Mavuika Chevreuse score. I think that they're gonna break the Chevreuse trend and put Chevreuse on Mavuika's banner, but maybe not. Maybe the rerun of Mavuika's banner. Probably Navia. Always hankering for a new off-field character, even if you're running Bennett or not. Navia is always hankering for a new off-field character. We'll see. And since he runs Xilonen with Navia anyways, yeah. Farina, that'll be interesting because Farina, I don't know. I'm really interested to see how Farina and the Archon react. I assume that they'll want them to not work together. But if they do work together, because they probably both work well with Xilonen, maybe Mavuika, Farina, and Xilonen is just like a broken core, and you can throw. Maybe that's like the new Hyper Bloom. You just throw, you know, the 3 best characters in the game together, and it's broken. I mean, that would make sense, right? I'm guessing it's a good option for Novelette. They're probably keeping the Pyro app low so that he can't vape too much, but I don't know. Could it be possible? I don't know. We'll see. It seems some people are saying that she'll synergize with normal attacks, so normal attacking characters. So I'm just remembering this. So maybe that means Ganyu is sort of a no-go. Risley stays, Chlorand stays, Navia can stay. Chaska is a Natlin character. So I'm gonna say any character that doesn't normal attack is gonna go over here. Who knows? Maybe it's about maybe she's so strong that she's possible for yoimiya. We'll see. But probably it's just gonna be better to leave her on field. Linny, I don't think so. She probably replaces Dea on most teams. Maybe Wanderer. Maybe it could be a buff for Wanderer. I would test that. That sounds exciting. I don't see her being too much for Nahida. I don't think like that. I don't see anything doing there. Might as well just run Emily. I mean, maybe it'll be fine, but you know, Emily's so good. I don't know how well Yelan will. I don't know. I'm gonna put her down here because I don't know. I should have an I don't know section. I guess there's not that many characters that I don't know about, but maybe Shenhe belongs there too. Ayato, probably. He normal attacks, so that could be a thing. Raiden, I can only hope, right? I can only hope. Raiden doesn't technically do normal attacks, so they could just decide or decide not to make it work with Raiden. And also the energy thing, does her thing count as energy if it's not energy? I don't know. I don't know. It's just a I don't know situation. I don't expect it to be particularly good for Eula. Pyro doesn't seem particularly good. Zhao, I don't see it. Childe over Xiangling. I mean, maybe Mavuika's vapes can be really big. And then Childe, like, I doubt it though. I think because Xiangling vapes every hit, so it's probably bigger. So I'm gonna put him in I don't know, but I think probably not. And then that's all that we have. So overall, you know, you want to keep an eye on Mavuika if A, you want Mavuika, and B, if you have any of these characters in particular and you want to make strong teams with them. I see her being a pretty big shakeup to the meta. I expect her to be the best character in the game. That's what I expect personally, because that's just what I think that Genshin is going to do. I highly doubt that they make the new Archon not the best character in the game. Right now, I think it's a toss-up between Furina and Xilonen. I think it's closer than I originally said, and I would have to think about it more to say who's best, but I think that Mavuika is going to beat both of them. That's what I think, but we've got lots of time for people to learn about her better, lots of time for Hoyoverse to change how she's working, and update her numbers and different things like that. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how things progress. And thanks a lot for watching. Please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. Let me know your thoughts on Mavuika. And if you don't want to subscribe, by the way, that is totally fine. Just watching the video has been more than enough. Thanks so much. Bye for now.